I'm just gonna put my view out there. There shouldn't be an age of consent at all.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Dopelives.com podcast, the Dopecast.
Hello.
I am your host, Dopefish. With me today as usual,
Sir Anderson, and our guest?
Hi, I'm Qeird.
Qeird. Hi Qeird, how
Hi.
old are you?
How old am I? I am 22 years old.
22
are you?
years old. You know how old I am. I'm 1 year older than you are.
Oh, sure.
Oh sure. Where are you
Really?
from, Qeird?
Dope,
Um,
you're only 23?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were way older. I thought you were like 25, 6-ish.
No. I'm not sure if that's a compliment or an insult or neither.
To be fair, I'm terrible at gauging ages, so it's
Oh.
probably nothing.
It's like when you're 80, everybody seems like a child or something. I don't even know.
I'm not 80. Not till next year.
Well,
I'm only
well,
79 and a half.
well, spoilers, we went to the same school as well.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, we'll get
What?
onto that later.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Qeird?
I am from the land of Tumblr, where women glow and men plunder,
Okay.
as in reference to the last podcast, or one of the last podcasts.
Yeah, that is to say, Sweden.
Yes,
You're roughly from the same area as I am.
pretty
Just
much, yes.
Sort of the middle country. So why are you called Qeird? But you aren't really, but why are you called Qeird?
I chose that based on me being a big fan of Weird Al Yankovic,
Mhm.
and every time I tried to type his name on a keyboard, the normal QWERTY keyboard, I always typed Queird Al Yankovic, or Qeird Al Yankovic.
Alright.
So like, yeah, I'm gonna make that a thing now.
Alright, so it is just weird, but with a Q.
Pretty much, yes.
I've always wondered. But you don't go by that in a lot of places. I don't know, like, why is it that you have it on Dopelives still? Why haven't you changed here?
Well, people know me as Qeird around the Dopelives
Yeah.
community already, so it would be just a pain to change it right here.
It's fair enough.
But what I mostly go as now is Meryl.
Like the Pokemon.
Sure.
Is that
Well-
because you're
Real.
trans?
No. Maybe.
Why Meryl?
Actually, it's when I was playing Wildstar,
Mhm.
my character had the same hair as Meryl Silverberg from Metal Gear,
Oh,
and I was like, yes, I'm going to make that my character now,
alright.
and it
And you just like the name and it
Yeah.
stuck?
exactly.
Fair enough. So, how long have you been a part of the community?
I've been here since 2010, I believe, but I
Mhm.
didn't become a part of the community until 2011.
So we're just lurking?
Yeah,
Alright.
I
And now
do.
to the question we teased earlier. How did you find this place?
well, as I found out last week, actually, we went to the same school.
Yep.
And I heard rumors in school like, oh, there's this guy that made a really funny YouTube video, and he might go to our school. So,
You might go to our school. Yeah.
and
Alright.
yeah, I
So
checked
you
out the
checked
video.
it out?
Yeah,
That
the-
was Ladder Goat, I assume.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else would it be?
Well, I've made a lot of funny videos, you dickhead.
Sure.
Oh wow! Come on.
Sure. Let's move on.
Right.
um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why did you stay? That's a part of this question as well.
I usually say like I came for Dopefish. I stayed for the community. It was a really chill place.
Hmm.
Unusual for communities, I believe.
In what way?
A more adult,
Yeah.
more like
alright.
less retardation, if that's a way you could say it. Less, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm
And that's
honestly
kind of the
surprised. I
point.
haven't hung out in a lot of online communities, and I actually thought the Dopelives community was pretty high on retardation.
Well, we have a certain kind of retardation, but
This
it's
chat.
very different from other places. I mean, there's a lot of Chan culture in Dopelives, at least from the beginning. Just people being, like jaded dickheads.
It's not the kind of retardation that you find in Twitch chat.
Yeah,
And
and it's not like
that's-
DeviantArt tier retardation either.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's very different from like the communities where 12-year-olds hang out. But yeah, there is definitely an amount of retardation. I mean, saying this chat is like a joke for a reason, because this chat is always so fucking stupid.
Yes.
But I love it.
Yeah, it's.
But
it's-
it does have the magical ability that you can go from discussing 1930s Polish politics directly into anal prolapses.
Of course.
And it's a natural progression of the conversation.
Yeah, it's not like you just change the subject. It actually like segues several times, and then suddenly you're discussing something completely different.
Yeah, that's a good kind of discussions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost the Monty Python of chats.
Yeah, alright, so, actually, Anderson, I need
Yes?
to involve you. Give him the next question.
Sure. Qeird,
Yes.
how much of a fat nerd are you?
About an 8 out of 5.
About an 8
8 out of 5.
Maybe an 8.5.
Wait, are you saying this wrong on purpose?
2.
What?
Maybe.
I'm so confused.
So, are you an 8 out of 5 because you're extremely fat or because you're extremely nerdy?
Both.
You're not that fat.
No,
I mean,
have
I
a
got you
goblin-
beat in that
Are
realm.
you Rosie O'Donnell fat?
I have a goblin body.
What does that mean?
I,
In
Aren't
my-
I don't.
goblins, like
I don't
small
look.
and lanky?
In
I
my
don't-
mind,
no,
goblins
no,
are
no.
skinny.
Yeah.
No. Like
Yeah.
they look skinny, but if I like pull up my shirt, there's just a tidal wave of fat right in your face.
So you're fat, but you carry it well.
Yes.
That's fair enough.
And what about the nerdy part?
I play video games.
Is that it?
I
Wow,
collect figurine.
scrub.
What? Figurines?
Yeah, anime.
Oh,
So you're a fucking weeb?
40%.
Do you speak Japanese?
Daishobu desu ka?
Doesn't that mean, are you... Wait, what? I don't even know.
Nihongo de wakarimasen.
Okay, a little bit.
Yes.
Alright, yeah, fair enough. Fucking weeb. That's disgusting.
Well, I basically said. Well, I did say I don't understand Japanese in Japanese.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, so what do you do for a living?
I am what you call in Sweden a sossfall.
Saucefall?
Sossfall?
Was this Saucefall?
a sauce fall?
Yeah, a sossfall. I basically live home. Well, I have my own apartment.
So
But I live
so what do you do for a living?
I
is what
live
we're
off
asking.
the.
Of welfare.
Yeah, thank you.
You're a welfare case.
Yeah, a welfare case. That's
All right.
the perfect description for it.
So do you live with your parents, did you say, or do you
No,
have a
I live
place?
alone. Well, it's complicated. I kind of I live in
Box.
yes.
Is it like an
I live in
assisted living
Vauxhall.
or something?
Yes. Well,
All right.
I do have my own apartment, but I
Uh-huh.
do get help
All right.
to create what the fuck you call that structure in your
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, I get it. So you're basically like an autismal welfare case.
Yes.
Then. Fair enough.
That's
Do you-
pretty much the exact same as my situation.
Hmm.
Oh.
All right. Fair enough. This got awkward all of a sudden. Why don't you
Good.
just fucking cut your hair and get a job, you fucking nerds? Jesus.
Because I love long hair.
I'm working on it.
Are you actually? That's
Yeah,
news.
I'm in a program where we're trying to basically put me in a situation where I can bear having a job. And one of the things, and you know my technical skills, so you're going to get the joke here. One of the things that came up as a possibility was programming.
Jesus Christ. Well, I don't even know what that means in your case. What are you supposed to program?
Stuff.
Do you mean like putting in the right program on a washing machine or something? Is that
No, like actually writing code.
Oh, fair enough. But you don't have an education in that.
No, not at all. No, the thing is, I need to find a job that I can actually do in my situation with my limitations. So I'm in a program where we're working on getting to that. And the ideal would be if I could work from home. So
Yeah,
maybe
of course.
something like where I can just sit at home, write some code, be a huge fag nerd, and just...
Yeah, and I suppose if you miss a day or two every now and again, it wouldn't be a big deal, kind of thing.
Exactly, I can just make up for it on the other end.
Yeah. Have you thought about like QA, like quality assurance type stuff?
No, but we're not that far into the program yet. I think something like that might come up as well.
Yeah, all right, fair enough. So it's a government kind of thing. This program.
Yeah, basically.
All right, fair enough. Qeird, do you have any job developments or anything?
I have been to a couple of jobs, which I've been working at cafes, which I found to be really fun, except the last time because I didn't get to do shit. But the guy just let me sit there and wait for dishes to pile
Yeah.
up so I can pick them up.
Been there.
But the first one I had was really fun because I got to bake, got to cook food, and do a lot of fun stuff. But the owner just kicked me out.
Oh,
So
were you being bad?
I don't know. Like I tried my best. Like
Was it like a job placement thing?
Yeah,
or did
it
you
was
get paid for it?
Yes, it was job training. It's
Alright.
like you don't work enough for what I pay you, and I don't get
Huh.
paid anything. It's like, oh, I guess.
Don't like employers get a stipend even? Like they get paid for taking in people
No.
in job training?
I
No?
don't believe they do.
I don't know. I've been in a similar like programs. Worked in a kitchen for a while and at a cafe. It was fine, I guess, but when you don't get paid for it, you could just sit home and play video games. So I chose that instead. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be honest, Qeird, you actually got fired because you wouldn't let him molest you, right?
It was a her.
Even better.
Same question.
It's not important.
All right. So when you're not playing or watching video games, what do you do, Qeird? Do you have any other hobbies?
I sing, I act, I play a bit of guitar now.
I like
picked
to
it up.
sing. A bit of guitar.
Yeah, I picked up that recently, actually.
Okay.
I'm still very shit at it.
So do you sing? Do you mean like in the shower?
That too, but I sing in a choir.
All right.
Um,
I already
the
know
most
this, but I'm gonna be
sexist
like
of,
super
choirs.
interview man and like, okay, a choir.
Yeah.
How's that?
Well, the most sexist of choirs, since it's a male-only choir.
Oh no. In Sweden, is that really allowed?
Yeah, I know, right? Well, when I first entered this, I started singing the choir this year, and it's so much fun. I did not expect it to be this much fun.
If you didn't expect it to be this much fun, then why did you join?
Because I have a lot of family in that choir.
So peer pressure.
No.
Yes, that's what it sounds like.
Well, it's not pure pressure. Like, I had a choice. Like, do I want to continue in the acting thing that I was doing for a year? When I had to take the train into Linköping, which take 30 minutes and costs like 100 kroners back and forth.
10 euros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or should I just join something similar?
Singing isn't similar to acting.
Well, they do like acting.
To be
things
fair,
too.
both is performance.
Yes.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I don't know what the English word is for it, but revue. They do a lot of those.
Yeah, like a performance
Yeah,
where you actually
like,
show off your.
Musical theater.
Yeah, all right.
And I would love to be a part of that, but it won't happen until next year, I believe.
But I mean, you're telling this like you had to choose one of them. You could have just chose neither.
Well, I did.
Or
I
both,
wanted
for
to,
that matter, I guess.
I wanted to do something.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
So-
they were at the same time, so I had to pick.
I get the impression that like in an all-male choir, it's gonna be like mostly kind of older dudes. Is that right, or is there a lot of just youth?
This is actually a special case because it is true that you say like a lot of male-only choir has a lot of old people in them, but the one here is actually filled with a lot of young people. There are some people around my age, some people in their 30s, 40s, 50s.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I think you've answered that question pretty satisfactory. What games are you playing right now?
I play a game, a first-person shooter called Dirty Bomb. Play that a lot. And
what is that? What's that about?
Well, do you know what CS:GO is?
It's nothing like CS:GO.
I know
Yeah, it's nothing like CS:GO.
Basically, take Team Fortress and change it a little bit and mix it with a little bit of Battlefield, and you kind of have the game.
Well, the best way to explain what it is, it's people say it's what Brink should have been.
And what is Brink?
I don't know. I never played Brink.
I feel like that question was coming. But yeah, it's like you have a class you pick, and it's like squad-based with objectives kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it fun? Is it addictive?
Yes, it is addictive.
More importantly, does it have hats?
No hats.
Wow. Okay.
It
well,
has,
moving on. Let's talk about something that isn't complete shit.
Are you playing any good games?
Yeah, I play Black Ops. That's still a
That
thing.
doesn't have hats either.
Oh shit. I play Dota, sure.
Yeah, Dota has hats. There you
I
go.
don't play Dota anymore. I used to though.
So you're very keen on first-person shooters? is that
No,
it? No.
not at
No?
all. I hate first-person shooters. That's
Except
the only
for
one.
Dirty Bomb?
Yes.
And Black Ops?
No.
You were kidding with Black Ops?
Yes. That was
Yes,
a joke.
No, yes, no.
I'll
What is
be-
this, 20 questions? Is it a vegetable, mineral, or animal?
That's a terrible yes/no question, Dope.
Well, is it either of these? That's the... Well,
I have
anyway.
also a small story about Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
You have a small story?
Yeah, since it was,
Okay.
it's more like my friend got it, and he was like, "Oh, you should play this." And I'm like, "Yeah, maybe. It's probably better, but it's still the same game as the old one. It's like you play it the same. It's just
And you
different
didn't like the old
graphics."
one, or...?
I did, but like I
Kind of, you were
didn't
done with
need.
it?
Yeah, I didn't need more.
Okay.
And it went on for a while, and it's just, "Oh yes, I want. You should play this and such." And then like no, and then a couple of weeks ago, he just bought it for me.
Huh.
So I've been playing that a lot, and it's fun.
Alright. Disagreed,
So
but...
is it just the same, or is there an actual useful difference? now that you've
No, I
played
would say it's the same, but it's still a fun game. Like you can still just start it up and play
Yeah.
it for a while.
It isn't different, it's more of the same. But if you like that thing, then why not just have more of it, I guess?
Yeah, exactly.
It's slightly more polished and all that, but yeah. It's still the same kind of core game. Alright, fair enough. Anderson, moving on.
Moving on, we have our magical question of the week. And this week it is, what game will you be playing on your deathbed?
That's a hard one. I thought about it actually. What?
That wasn't...
That's what she said. Come on.
Oh, that's it. Good. Perfect.
Christ!
We're off to a good start.
Yes.
That's what she said.
Oh, you're on a roll.
That's
Here we
what
go.
she said.
Whoa. Okay, now it's bothersome.
Please stop. Come on. Come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Deathbed.
It's
I would
swing
say
and
like
miss.
Deathbed. I should play the first game I ever played, which was Quackshot, starring Donald Duck. It's like, yes, my life has gone in full circle now.
Is that on PlayStation?
It's on Sega Genesis,
Oh. You mean Mega
Genesis.
Drive?
the Mega
You mean-
Drive, yeah,
You surely mean Mega Drive.
So
Yeah.
what
You
is,
are
what is that?
the
American.
Sega
figure.
Mega.
Is that a platformer or?
It's a platformer starring Donald Duck, where you shoot suction cups. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that
and-
seems very fun.
Yeah, it is really fun.
I've actually played it and it's a good game, but that description, you're Donald Duck and you shoot suction cup.
Well, that's what you do.
It's a fucking NES or 16-bit era platformer. It's
Yeah.
got colorful graphics and tight gameplay and
Yes.
all that good stuff.
It's
For
good.
some reason, just hearing it described, it reminds me of the Rescue Rangers game.
Not really.
Except in that you throw boxes.
Exactly.
It's more like Darkwing Duck on the NES,
Yes.
if you play that.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
I haven't.
Oh, well, it's kind of like Mega Man-ish, I guess, in a way.
To be fair, just for full disclosure, I haven't played Rescue Rangers either. I've just seen it.
Oh,
I haven't. Generally, if it's on those old consoles, nostalgia, people's childhood, they grew up, then I haven't played it.
fair enough.
I didn't grow. My first console was the PlayStation 2 I bought for myself when I was 18.
Did you have a PC before then?
Yeah.
And did you game on it?
I did, but mostly, I think the first game that anyone knows about that I played was Terror from the Deep.
Okay.
Before that, it
heard
was
of.
mainly like small PC games.
Alright. So you didn't, play it in the Commodore era or anything like that either?
No, just on a regular PC.
Alright. Windows or before that?
MS-DOS, and then
Alright.
Windows later.
Fair enough.
What is Terraform the Deep?
It's
That is the
XCOM
sequel
game.
to the original
Oh.
XCOM.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's the second one. Uses the same engine and everything except you're fighting underwater.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's really fun. Really difficult though. Alright, Qeird. So the most important question here: who is your waifu?
Extra points
Um,
if it's someone I've ever heard of.
I've been thinking about this 2 weeks now.
Well, it is a serious fucking
Yes.
question, so good.
And I've come to the conclusion that it's a guy that I really hated at first, but then I heard about the backstory and it became my waifu. So it's Gwendolyn from Dark Souls.
Oh.
See, from that lead-in, I thought you were going to say Professor Snape.
Oh god. Well, I can't argue with that.
Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah.
I guess
Good night, folks.
we reach our high point.
That's all, folks. Oh Christ.
But yes.
There's a Gwendolyn from Dark Souls.
Yes, and
But that's not a guy.
it's a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
And if you say it can't be your waifu because it's a male, fuck you,
That's
Fuck
racist.
you.
fuck you,
Fuck you.
The Supreme
fuck
Court-
you.
Fuck you! The Supreme Court disagrees. You can have a male waifu now.
Yes.
Alright. Well, I guess that's it for the questions and answers section. I just need to go back to something that we kind of glossed over. We went to the same school, which I learned a few days ago.
Yes.
But I don't think we ever met, or I have no memory of ever seeing you.
Well,
Uh,
when you were in second grade, you had your own.
yeah,
You moved up to another house. We were still in the first house,
yeah,
so we were never around there.
yeah. This is in
High school.
basically college, I guess you could call it.
It's high school.
It's not really high school, because high school is earlier as well.
Yes, but
It's
the
it's
same.
part of high school and part of college.
It's the
just
same
because-
age group as high school.
Yeah, but you also go to college when you're 18, so...
Yeah.
Anyway, that school fucking sucked. It's terrible.
Yes, but the teachers were actually pretty good. Some
Yeah.
of them.
Yeah, some of them were quite nice.
Yeah.
But it seems like neither of us got any useful education from it, seeing
Well,
as neither of us are working.
But
Exactly.
hey, look at it this way. You are both now on your way to becoming famous on the internet.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's... Thanks, school.
The best part about that school was playing World of Warcraft during lessons.
Yeah.
How
course.
how long do you think it'll be before things like online personas will be part of the curriculum at schools, considering how big a part of everyday Western life that's become?
How do you mean online personas? Do you mean like social media?
Yeah, and how you carry yourself online and present yourself.
I'm sure it already is in some places, like social media, communications, that kind of stuff. If you're taking like a journalism or communications or advertising course, I'm sure you'll get taught about social media.
Sure, but I mean in school in general. I mean like in the 4th grade.
Oh yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like our like IT education or whatever in basic like elementary school was awful. You learn to open Word and type in it. That's
I
just
recognize that.
that doesn't really work anymore. You kind of have to teach kids about responsibility of online and stuff like that, right? Like how if you upload a nude image or something like that, it's never going to go away. You can't keep that kind of stuff private. So sort of teach people about how
I still have the solution for that.
everybody just does it.
Everybody, literally everybody in the Western world uploads nudes of themselves. Every celebrity, every person. And then if everybody's naked, nobody's naked.
Yeah, I totally agree with the sentiment, but that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, but
What
I
if you-
think
what
we
if you
should
have a
start
weird
it.
Penis?
We should start it.
Yes.
Well, you already have.
I haven't uploaded naked photos.
Well, I'm not sure if a tie counts as clothing.
See? I'm covered.
Well, fair enough, fair enough.
Also, my shame when I can't find that photo anymore.
Oh no, it's gone.
Yeah.
Lost in the bowels of the internet. Right, so let's move on to our first topic of the day. And
Nope. You have it
No?
wrong. We're doing feedback first.
Oh, we're doing feedback first, you're right.
But I know you're eager to get on to the topics.
I am.
The first bit of feedback is funny because it is a quote. Because of something you did, Dopefish.
Uh-huh.
And it's funny because when you did it, I was actually considering bringing up this quote, but I thought it would be too disruptive.
I
Qeird-
didn't even realize this was a quote. I'm reading it now, and I'm not sure where it's from. But
Well-
okay, go ahead and read it out.
Yes, Qeird Indigo says, the symbology? Now that Spooky has relinquished his King Bonehead crown, I see that we have an heir to the throne. I'm sure the word you were looking for was symbolism. What is the symbolism there? Points for any of you that can get the reference.
Qeird? Do you know what it is?
Symbolism?
No,
Symbology?
the fucking quote. Where is it from?
Oh, no.
No idea.
It
Where
is-
is it from?
It is from
Is-
Boondock Saints.
Oh,
Come
is
on,
that anime with the niggers?
you've not seen Boondock Saints?
Oh, I don't watch.
It's about two
bad-
Irish
I don't
guys
watch
murdering a
bad
bunch of
anime.
mobsters. It's not an anime, you fuck! It's a
I don't
movie.
watch bad shows.
No, it's the Boondocks. That's what you're saying, right?
No, Boondock Saints.
The anime with the black people.
Yes.
No,
That's the one.
The Boondocks.
no. And the worst thing is, you guys are making some kind of joke or reference, and I don't watch enough anime to get it, so I have no idea what you guys are on about.
I'm not sure if it's anime. It's like a cartoon with. It's called Boondocks, I think.
Yeah,
Like,
that's-
Boondocks has one of the best scenes where it's like the guy saying, just having fun.
But that's not what I'm talking about.
Let me
But you said
finish.
Boondocks. That is the
Yes,
Boondocks.
the Boondocks.
Surely.
For the third time, I said the Boondock Saints.
Boondocks ain't what?
Who's on first? All right, moving on.
Yeah, moving
Jesus
on.
Christ,
Sorry.
you guys.
Sorry.
Second order of feedback. Jesper Peterson is chiming in again, saying, since you guys seem to agree that humans ruin all forms of government, I would like to know what you think of this question. Why do humans ruin all form of government, and can we fix our way?
Biology and no. Moving on.
Yeah, that's... I was going to say for the why. I wasn't going to say biology. I was going to say greed, insecurity, pettiness, anger.
Yeah, but all that stems
That's
from
exactly what
biology.
I
That
was
is
going
true.
to say
That
as
is true. I would just have
We've
phrased it.
evolved to be stupid monkeys who can't like accept things. We're tribal by nature and shit like that.
Exactly.
We
As for can we fix it, not while remaining human.
we can in a way. I mean, there's plenty of things in our nature that we, we have put the caboose on or whatever the fuck the word is that we're stopping.
Yeah, but a
in
lot of that,
society.
it's still there. It's just no
Yeah.
longer socially acceptable.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, we have laws against murdering people from outside of your tribe,
And
stuff
yet
like that.
it still keeps happening.
Yeah, but not as much as if we didn't. I think like war and things like that are a thing that'll always happen, but I'm sure putting up structures like the UN and things like that can help.
I
We
agree.
might be able to fix part of our nature, but
We might be able to, what's it called? Not fix it, but patch it.
yeah. It's kind of a bit like putting a band-aid over a flesh wound, though. It's not really helping, is it?
I was going
There's
to
still a
use
big flesh wound underneath.
another analogy where something breaks down in a college student's home and you just put some a newspaper in it or fucking silver tape it to keep it up.
What?
Or maybe the better
I'm so
analogy
confused.
is, yeah, I'm a student and my fridge is full, but I put food in the microwave because that's a good solution. I'm using analogies here.
Yeah, but they're not working at all. They make no sense.
Either your analogies are very, very advanced and we're just not getting them, or your analogies are roomier tier.
Yeah.
I'll pick the earlier.
You'll pick the first one.
Yes.
But yeah, we are kind of just... I don't know, we're on a sinking ship and we're like, grab the buckets! But there's still a big hole in the fucking hull.
More like
and
we're on a
sink sooner or later.
We're on a sinking ship and we're fighting over who gets the buckets.
That's true.
All right, last bit of feedback we have is John the Pro. We've had over the last couple of episodes talking about Dopelives and the community, and he says, I think the reason people has sick. I think the reason. Wait, this has to be. I think the reason people has a hard time joining Dopelives is because it's a community where people has known each other for years. See, it works then.
It works then.
If you
yes,
do like that,
yes.
it works.
That is how John the Pro talks in real life. I've spoken to him.
Awesome. I think it's that, but I think it's not just that.
Yeah. I mean, all communities basically have people knowing each other in them, I suppose, to some extent.
I think this is kind of what he's getting at, because the Dopelives community really has a culture of its own, as you were saying
definitely.
earlier with being jaded and the whole Chan culture.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, like we keep reiterating, I really think that if you're going to join the chat, get into the chat and just kind of see what it's all about, get a read on the flow of the conversation, and just chill out for a while.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I agree completely with this. We're not like that insular, really. It's easy to find us and join us and just join into a conversation. It's just that you need to have the right, I guess, attitude or mindset or style or whatever to sort of jive with the community.
Yeah, and that's why I think you kind of need to feel it out first, because let's be honest here, you can, as a person who doesn't know, who just went on YouTube and was like, oh, look, these are funny videos, let's go join the chat. I mean, you can go in there, you can say the wrong thing, and you can literally have 3 people telling you to kill yourself.
Pretty much. Qeird, any thoughts?
I just lost my train of thoughts. How I say it is that you don't go into a community if you don't want to join it.
Yeah.
Like the community is not supposed to adapt to you. You're supposed to adapt to the community.
Mm-hmm.
And if that is if you like it around here, you like the people, you have the same mindset, then sure, you're going to fit in perfectly.
Yeah. And I don't think
just a question, Qeird. Do you vote for what are they called, the Swedish Democrats, Sverigedemokraterna?
I voted blank, the last one.
It's just because that sentiment
it was
like
Swedish immigration policy.
But
yeah,
I am considering voting for them up the next.
Wow, you fucking racist! This conversation is over.
Sure.
Can't believe we put a Nazi on the show, Anderson. Kick him out.
I'm sorry for being white. I'm sorry for being male.
Spoken like a true Swede. Okay, Dope, you take over, because now we're getting to... Oh, we're not getting to topics yet after all.
No, we're not. We're going to delay it even further. We're doing the recommendations, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Hell yeah.
Hey.
And my recommendation is shit, so I want you guys to go first.
Alright. I'm actually just going to give a bit of follow-up to a recommendation that Spooky gave. He spoke very positively about the Joe Rogan podcast. And I was kind of on the fence. I had planned to start listening to it, but I hadn't really taken the leap yet. But Spooky pushed me over to the right side of the fence, or however the fuck you finished that analogy. And I've started listening to it, and it's really good. I really like Joe Rogan as a host, and the guests he has on. They're generally pretty interesting. They get into all sorts of really, both like really deeply philosophical things, and also like really practical discussions about everything, like politics and things like that. It's just really good. So thanks, Spooky, for the recommendation, and I would second the recommendation for anyone who's interested in another good podcast.
Awesome. I'll go next. See, I haven't done anything over the last couple of weeks. I've just been chilling around, hanging out with friends, so I haven't really experienced much of anything new I want to recommend. So I'm going down into my bag and recommending something that's been a favorite for quite a while now. Monster Energy.
Oh, Jesus. We're not sponsored by them, are we?
No, we're not. But, I mean, if you're...
Then why are we talking about them? They sponsor everything. We should easily just get a fucking sponsorship.
I mean, I heard that Justin Wong gets free Monster Energy because evil geniuses are sponsored by them. And that is the thing that made me want to get good at Street Fighter. But no, seriously, I mean, I drink energy drinks sometimes. I may not be a little bit addicted, and the green Monster Energy just happens to be the one that tastes the best.
Yeah, it's the one that doesn't taste like battery acid.
I disagree.
Yeah, well, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Why
Blue
do you disagree? Oh, the blue one.
I love the blue one.
Is that the sugar-free one?
Yeah, the sugar-free one.
I prefer
it's
green
alright.
followed by the one that's called Assault.
The one with Call of Duty on the fucking the box?
No?
Or the can? No, I'm sure they had like Black Ops or something on that can a while ago.
Maybe. I wasn't paying attention. I just
Sure.
drink the shit.
So what?
Anyway, I'm not recommending it because it's this revolution in gamer fuel. It tastes nice. It's my favorite taste. Sometimes I
Yeah?
won't even drink it as an energy drink. I'll just drink it for the taste and then
Fair enough.
get buzzed and do and say stupid shit because I have too much energy.
So do you actually get buzzed by it?
Yes. If I drink two fairly rapidly, that is almost like being drunk.
Really? Like being drunk?
Like a hyper form of drunk.
Alright.
I haven't done any drugs, so drunk is kind of the best comparison I have.
Alright, fair
I'd
enough.
say it's fucking scary to drink a Monster really fast because you get like fast
Heart
heartbeats.
palpitations, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's
yeah.
just, oh god, what's happening?
I generally don't drink energy drinks because I don't feel like I need it. But when I do tend to take Monster because the other ones are like they're so acidic. They're just sort of acidically sour tasting.
Yeah, they have that chemical flavor, like really cheap candy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's intentional to sort of make you feel like you're drinking some sort of chemical, like I don't know, you're drinking raw caffeine or some shit like that.
Drinking
But
battery
I don't
acid.
like it.
Yeah, it tastes
And
kind
like
of like
every energy drink has that fucking flavor. Be it like I don't know, battery Red Bull
I don't
or
remember the name
Euro
of it.
Shopper or whatever.
I don't remember the name of it.
Energy.
It was some kind of hipster energy drink brand. But I had this energy drink. It was green and it had that chemical taste. And apart from that chemical taste, it tasted like grass. So like liquid grass with a nasty chemical aftertaste.
That sounds kind of pleasant, except for the
No,
chemical
no,
taste.
it's absolutely one of the worst things I've ever put in my mouth. And
mean,
that means something.
If something tasted like a freshly mowed lawn smells, I'd probably drink that because that's a
No,
very
it,
pleasant
it,
smell.
it tastes like if you accidentally fell and you got some grass in your mouth.
Was it
Well, I've eaten grass as a kid. It's not terrible. Clover
was
is
it
better. though.
Celsius?
I do not know.
Okay.
Have you ever tried those vitamin waters they have?
I have not.
I wonder if they're any good. I guess it's just like water with some flavoring in it, but it's supposedly kind of similar. I mean, there's no caffeine, but they're sort of, revitalizing or whatever. I'm sure that's just marketing buzzwords, but I don't know.
I hardly ever drink any kind of bottled water because the tap water here is so good.
Yeah, of course. Bottled water is like a scam. But these are like special ones with additives and stuff. I don't know.
Ooh.
I think it's bullshit, but doesn't prevent you from drinking it because it sometimes can taste real nice and fresh.
The town where my girlfriend lives, I actually drink bottled water when I'm there.
Oh, they have shit tap water?
There's so much calcium, or whatever it's called, chalk.
Yeah.
What the fuck is it being called? In the water there, and it just tastes ass.
It's like, yeah. I actually like hard water, as it's called, I guess. Does it leave like these white imprints on mugs and stuff?
Yes.
I actually really prefer that kind of water. My dad has like his own well, and it's really full of.
I
I
think
guess
it's
chalk or calcium or whatever.
I think it tastes awful.
I quite like it.
Spooky.
Spooky?
Spooky.
Didn't he say something about different kinds of water?
Did he?
Man.
What?
No,
I'm so confused.
I may just have made that up.
Maybe he did. Who knows? Qeird, do you have a favorite energy drink?
I like Monster.
Monster
Hey.
Blue.
The-
Is that
yo,
it?
yo, Monster. We will forward your products for free. What do you think we will do for money? Holla!
Yeah, exactly. Call us. Contact us. Dopelives@gmail.com.
I mean, I think we already established that we're willing to whore ourselves out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I'm fairly sure like 90% of the things in Monster are just bullshit though. Like there's vitamin B12 and taurine and stuff like that, which don't actually do anything.
That shit got ginseng, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that's like similar to caffeine or something. But
Yeah, like it's some bullshit Chinese root.
Yeah. Some bullshit Chinese root. What is this, wasabi? Alright, Qeird, what is your recommendation?
My recommendation is a lewd one.
Oh,
I
All right.
recommend y'all kid listen up here because you need to go to the web zone www.fenoxo.com,
oh, I see where this is going.
and on that page you'll find two games. One
Three
called
games.
three games. Well,
The
fir-
two that you recommend.
the two I'm recommending. Yeah, it's the first one is Corruption of Champions, which is a text-based porn game.
Yeah, it's an
Um,
RPG.
Yes. The perfect way to describe this, in my opinion, is if you've ever been to 4chan and the hentai alternative board /d/, it's basically a game like that. There's so many options
It's TG
for
meets
weird
D.
fetishes. It's
Pretty
what?
much.
It's TG meets D.
Yeah.
Traditional games and board games or whatever, TG.
Yeah.
The Warhammer D&D board.
And the other game on that page is called
Trials in Tainted Space?
Tits. Yes.
Tits.
Trials in Tainted
Cock
Space.
and Tits is the
Which-
acronyms for these two games.
Yes, Cock and Tits, which is under development right now. It's a pretty short game, but they just keep adding content. And I played it a bunch, and starting off all right.
All right.
What a
So you're
strong
one of those-
recommendation.
you're one of those furries then, are you?
No,
You enjoy like being transformed into a horse and stuff?
no,
No?
I did.
That's what cock is all about.
Yeah, no. I made myself
yeah,
into
no.
a demon.
Into a demon.
Yes.
Fair enough.
You can fucking make yourself into a centaur if you want to. In that game.
Yeah,
But you need
that makes
to-
you a furry.
I didn't
you
make
need- you
myself
need to
into
mix up,
anything. I just got
uh,
addicted to Minotaur cum. For some reason.
Yes, that's a thing that can happen.
Yeah, I quite like those games. I play them a fair bit as well. It's a shame that the author is like too afraid to put in proper like lolly or rape or anything else that is
You
more
can
extreme.
make your own character that though.
Yeah, not really. And also
I have done it with
there's-
one character, so
There's been this sort of trend of turning everything into a waifu. Like
Oh.
it used to be about like random encounters where you just like either raped something or got raped. But then after a while, Corruption of Champions turned into like a waifu simulator
well,
where
yes
you
and
gotta
no.
collect them all.
It turns into a harem,
Yeah.
and that's not a bad thing. Like it leaves you up with more options. Like
yeah,
you can
fair
still
enough. It's just not the
Oh,
exact
shit.
kind of game that I'm totally into. But it's
well the
if you're into like porn games at all or have any sort of somewhat abnormal fetishes, I would second this recommendation. They're both quite enjoyable and the gameplay is quite alright.
I don't think you would
groundbreaking, but
really enjoy Tits then, because that game has a lot of waifus.
yeah, no, I think it's quite alright. But again, it's not perfect.
No,
Im-
well,
imagine a
I would say
game
it's my favorite game.
like
my
Corruption
favorite
of
porn game.
Champions or Tits, but
Uh-huh.
with the gameplay of a click till things die game like Path of Exile or Diablo, but still keeping all the weird themes and stuff from.
I don't know if the sort of the real time action would meld very well with that kind of game. I recently, just for a laugh, played a game called H-Doom, which is like Doom, but you're fighting like succubuses and stuff. And once you kill them, you can rape them.
That sounds
And
sweet.
it didn't really work. Like after the first time, it seems pointless. Like, 'cause it just plays like a little sex scene in sprite graphics. But then I just want to keep shooting things, so I just started ignoring like the sex part of it completely.
Oh, dude.
I feared that the same would happen if it was an ARPG, like a Diablo clone.
That's because you're no longer in puberty.
Well, I modded my Skyrim to have a lot of
realistic horse vaginas.
yes, and
I'm gonna
being able to rape others, and
I'm gonna shock you guys because I did something completely unheard of with my
Did you
Skyrim.
play vanilla Skyrim all the way through?
I haven't played it all the way through, but yeah, I play vanilla Skyrim.
oh my god.
Well, I also played vanilla, then it got boring, so I installed mods. Not porn though. I never liked the Elder Scrolls porn mods.
See,
They're just super clunky.
I'm too lazy to install mods, so for me it's like I play a game vanilla, then it gets boring, then I stop playing it.
Yeah, fair enough. I actually did like a series on YouTube about like modding Skyrim when it got released. It got quite popular.
I know a guy, he's the opposite. He literally spends more time modding it than he does playing it, and he's playing it all the time. The only games he ever plays are Skyrim and League of Legends.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of people. I mean, you spend like 4 hours downloading and installing mods, and then getting like them to work in the correct order takes another 2 hours, and then you play it for 30 minutes. Like, fuck it, I don't want to play this game. It's boring. That's what happens. Anyway, my recommendation that I did, the Joe Rogan one, wasn't actually my recommendation. I was just like doing follow-up.
Oh,
I have
you're
another
correct.
recommendation as well, so. But
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to recommend something very simple. It's called a long drink. Do you know what a long drink is, Anderson?
It's a big drink, I guess.
It's not a big drink. It is basically a pre-mixed, alcohol and soda kind of thing.
Usually vodka. It's
Yeah.
delicious.
Yeah, like it's like vodka or rum, and it's mixed with something sweet.
Yeah.
Like you can get vodka, lime, that kind of stuff, and it's about as alcoholic as a beer, and it's very tasty.
So breezers.
Yeah, pretty much, except less like obnoxiously sweet, and I don't know.
And they don't come in glass bottles.
Yeah, but yeah, it's very good. I had a lot on Dopecon because people were taking the ferry from Finland, and they sell them there. They don't actually sell them in Sweden. But yeah, if you can get your hands on them,
They
I'd
do,
recommend
but you
them.
have to.
Yeah,
order them.
but it's complicated and
Yes,
obnoxious,
it's-
and you
yes.
can't just go into a store and buy them.
But
No.
what's the advantage of a long drink compared to just mixing your own stuff?
Ease of use, simpleness.
But does that outweigh being able to vary the strength of
strength?
the mix?
In this
I think
case,
so, yeah.
yes.
Because I mean, you gotta have to go like buy Schweppes or something like that if you're gonna have like mix one with lime and vodka and stuff. It's just pain in the ass.
No,
This is just-
I'll
you
just
take
do, I'll
one out
just
of
do
the fridge
Coca-Cola,
and-
lime and vodka.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But I mean, if you want to go fancy, mix your own. Of course, it's gonna be better. But these are just nice.
My drink's
it's like,
proclivities are quite plebeian.
It's like I don't know. You drink a cider or a beer. You take a long drink instead, and it's nice and tasty.
It is.
Qeird, you had one more recommendation.
Yes.
Might as well get it out of the way.
So, I'm going to recommend a podcast as well.
No, that's not allowed. You can't recommend
I'm
our
sorry.
competition here.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, man.
Haven't we already covered
Um,
just about every other podcast on the web on this?
No,
No,
I
not
doubt
at
it.
I'm going to
I
recommend.
mean, we've covered them in the sense that we're much better than them, and we're sort of outshining them. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I'm going to recommend Sleepycast.
What the fuck is that? Oh no, I know what that is.
It is a podcast made by the Sleepy Cabin, which is Stamper, Oni, Psychic Pebbles.
Who?
Sounds like a bunch of
Oh,
weebs.
you know Oni and Stamper, right?
I know them, but
Yeah.
explain it to our audience, friend.
Oh.
To me,
And probably
Um,
Anderson as well.
yeah.
Okay. I would say that they started off as artists and animators on Newgrounds,
Uh-huh.
and well, they went on to make a lot more like Stamper voice acts, and so do the other guys. But Stamper has voice act for commercial products, like
So wait, why are these guys famous?
they're just cool dudes.
What do they do? Do they have YouTube channels, or do they do films, or like?
They do films.
Okay.
Both is it real life action?
Yeah, live action.
Live action, thank you. And
animation.
animations. They even do fucking puppet shows. It's kind of
Puppet
fun.
shows? What?
But they don't put
So
out a lot
alright,
of
so there's a
content.
bunch of these like talented voice actors and
Yes.
animators and stuff, and
Yes.
they do a podcast.
Yes.
What's it about?
Nothing.
Alright, so
basically
basically like
just
this one, just
bullsh-
dudes
yeah.
talking.
Just bullshitting about things. It's
Fair
really entertaining.
Alright. So Sleepycast.
Sleepycast.
Probably find
by
it by
Sleepy
just searching that, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, you can go on sleepycabin.com, I believe.
Why is it called Sleepycast? Is it
They
boring that puts
they
you to
actually
sleep?
they actually took that up, brought that up as a
Mhm.
topic, and I don't quite remember.
Oh,
but
for
they
fuck's
went-
sake!
They went through a lot of different names, like fucking Penis Studio or something like that.
What?
Really immature names.
The Sleepycast sounds like it should be, I don't know, like whale sounds or something you put on while you're going to sleep.
Oh, it's Sleepy Cabin.
Yeah, that doesn't sound any better. Am I mishearing
It's-
you? You're
it-
saying
it- no.
sleepy, right? Like
Yeah, Sleepy Cabin.
SLEEP.
It sounds comfy, like you just want to snuggle up in a corner and listen to Sleepycast.
Alright,
Where
fair
they
enough.
where they
fair
talk
enough.
about who would fuck the green M&M.
See, I'm thinking it's a podcast where this one short guy with a beard sits around grousing over the 6 other little dwarves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ah, shit.
Alright, well, that's our recommendations of the week then.
Yes.
Be sure to check him out, I guess. Wow, that got super awkward. So let's move on to our topics.
Good.
This is a disaster. Fucking hell. So yes,
That's what she said.
I was trying to get on to before, I was so rudely interrupted. And this weekend, the weekend that just happened, the 17th to 19th,
Yeah.
we had our second annual Dopecon. Which is a bit of a misleading name because it isn't like a big convention. It's actually just a gathering of friends from the community, I suppose. We had 21 people there in total. Not all of them stayed for the full duration. I think we got 19 in the group photo we took.
Yes.
But yeah, we got together. We set up some consoles and some computers and played some board games. Had some tournaments in like Smash and Street Fighter, and basically just had a good time hanging out together. Qeird was there with me. Anderson wasn't, because Anderson is a buster. Anderson, why did you not come?
Well, the story goes like this. I was gonna go. I was
Yes.
definitely going to go. And I had made plans to watch EVO with a friend. EVO being the year's biggest fighting game event.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
We'll talk about that later as well.
But when I found out that Dopecon was happening at the same time as EVO, I cancelled with my friend.
Mhm.
Like, no, I'm going to this con, going to Sweden to hang out with nerds. And then my tooth happened, and I had to get about
Surgery?
€300 worth of dental surgery
Mm.
after all the different discounts I could get.
Well.
And that was basically my Dopecon budget. So I changed my plans. I give up on Dopecon. I make plans again to watch EVO, and I'm kind of set on that. And then at the very last minute, when I have everything set and I've everything set up for the EVO event, some drunk guy offers to actually pay my way to Dopecon. And at this point, it's too late for me to go. Even if the guy was serious,
Yeah.
it's too late to make
Yeah,
it all
yeah.
happen. So unless I have some surprise expensive surgery in the next year, I very much plan to be there at 3.0.
All right.
Just as I was there at Dopecon 0.
Oh yeah, you were in the Dopecon Denmark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was before we had the place.
I-
Yeah, it took place in the south of Sweden. Just a little like shithole that it isn't really important, I guess. But
Can I just interrupt?
yeah, go ahead.
You should have taken the offer to Anderson.
I don't
Yeah, you should.
I don't like taking advantage of people when they're drunk.
You don't?
No.
Of
Surprisingly.
all people,
I
I
don't.
thought you'd be into that.
Well, only if
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I mean, this person also offered to pay.
Who's this person?
This person
Oh dear.
offered to pay for Flipping Kamikaze's ticket as well, but
What?
realized that was too
That's
expensive.
ridiculously expensive.
Yes.
Wait, is it you?
No.
I'll give
Who
you
is it?
I'll give you a hint, Dope. It's someone who likes to say "fuck you."
Dante?
Uh,
What?
no. Yes.
I'm so confused.
It was me.
It was you.
Yes, I was very drunk and
Oh.
I was on TeamSpeak and I
Christ.
puked in the toilet.
What? Why would you? Oh God.
It was
Well,
fun.
Good job.
It was hilarious.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah, as I said, south of Sweden, we had a bunch of German people there. One person from England, and one person all the way from America land, which is quite impressive. 11-hour flight, apparently.
It was really fun.
So, Qeird, it was your first time. I was there the first year, obviously, because I was kind of in charge of it, I guess. What did you think about it?
Oh, it was a blast. I fucking loved it. I had a lot of fun.
Fun? Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds boring.
The Munchkin game was really fun.
Yeah. Well, it was when you killed Nuya.
No, that wasn't me. I didn't do
Well.
anything.
Wow. Man, Nuya got like so upset, like.
Well, he tried to fuck with us.
Yeah, of course.
Of course
But
I'm
that's
going to
Munchkin.
kill him.
That's Munchkin.
Yes.
So yeah, what else did you do while you were there?
We played. I played a lot of video games with different people. We played that Smash tournament. We didn't only play that Smash tournament. We played a lot of Smash.
Yeah.
Just
You
for
placed
funsies.
second in the Smash, didn't you?
I won the Smash.
Oh, you did? I thought Nina won it.
No.
Oh, you beat him in the finals?
Yeah.
All right. Fair
The
enough.
power of the fucking me brawler.
Is,
Oh, yeah.
is
I don't-
Smash even fun?
Yeah,
It's
it's
a lot of
good.
fun.
It's good fun. I mean, as a like serious fighting game, I'd never like pick it up and play it, but they were having a tournament, so yeah, I'd fucking join it. It's fun.
Might be the problem. Is Smash really doesn't look fun to me, but then I've only ever seen Smash played at like top tier tournament level, and it just seems so lame and boring.
Yeah, I mean, there's very little in terms of like combos and complexities and stuff like that. The ceiling is much lower than in a Street Fighter or something like that.
It seems like the Mario Party of Street Fighter, or the Mario Party of fighting games.
It kind of is, yeah. I much prefer playing like 4-player free for all. To be honest, it's just more fun, more stuff going on. But
I'm playing this game quite a lot, and I just like playing 1v1 because there are combos. There are just
yeah,
not many
of
of them.
course, of course.
I
mean,
also
once you put on items, you basically ruin the game. It's no longer a game; it's just a dice rolling contest.
yeah, a bit. But I don't want to sound mean, but the Smash tourney wasn't that hard to win.
Wow, that's so mean of you. I actually made it to the finals of the Street Fighter tournament, at least.
You did?
Came in from the losers bracket.
Who won that? Who beat you?
Volume. He won, and he won the one we had.
Didn't he win the online one as well?
Yeah. Basically, we decided we'd just do randoms at the end because it was us again in the finals. And well, he won the last time, and I was fairly sure he was gonna win again because he'd been practicing for a long time. So we did randoms, but in the end, he managed to win. It was nice finals though. It was close. But yeah, then we played some various other board games, and we ordered some food and ate it together, and basically just hung out and had a good time. It seemed like pretty much everyone was satisfied in the end. Basically, the main complaint was I wish we had a few more days because it's a bit of a travel for people, and we basically had one full day. People arrived sometime during the Friday.
Could that be done though?
Probably not.
In the
'cause-
summer holidays.
Well, maybe if people have, vacation, but that's kind of the problem. People already had to cancel coming because they couldn't get vacations properly. But yeah, maybe we'll look into it for next year.
I mean,
I don't know. Then again,
the
if
thing
you-
is also financially, it's the same sum of money to go for a week as it is to go for.
Yeah, except for food and everything, of course. But another thing is that people didn't have, or some people didn't have like proper sleeping stuff with them, and kind of slept on chairs or like on the hard floor. And they were like saying that if I had to sleep like this for another night, I would have just broken.
Well, to be fair, that's kind of on them. I mean,
Yeah, for sure.
you bring your sleeping arrangements.
But yeah,
with
if we're gonna extend it, we basically need to either like rent some cots or something, or make sure that everybody has like an air mattress with them or something, because you can't just sleep on the floor for so long. I had Murgasmos. Yeah, I think it was Murgasmos. He didn't have anywhere to sleep, and he's kind of a big man, I guess. Not really like
for you.
the kind of the mousy kind of guy who could just sleep on the floor comfortably. I just offered to put him in my car, and we just like lowered the passenger seat of the car, and he slept in there.
Sounds so ghetto.
Yeah, it was kind of ghetto. Then
Wow.
some point after I'd woken up, I'd like
Let him
somebody
out of
was
the
like-
car.
no. Somebody else was like going
Water
to sleep,
him
and
and
was like,
feed
"Hey, I
him."
got my air mattress downstairs. If you want to catch some shut eye," and like you just borrowed. It was very nice. It was like communal, very sort of what do you call it? Like stress free, I guess. Like
Chill.
people were just sort of sharing their snacks and their drinks and that kind of stuff, and yeah, it was just a really good time. I was pondering afterwards how I basically hadn't felt like nervous or irritated or anything for the entire weekend.
Cool.
And I'm usually somebody who generally feels pretty nervous
Cool.
when something's about to go down, even if it's like, I don't know, going to the store or something. I kind of have to hype myself up for it, because it's like I don't know, there's like this invisible barrier that I have to break through. It's very small for something like going to the store, but like that didn't happen. I was just super comfortable, like hanging around with friends for the entire weekend, and it was just a really good time.
I have to agree.
Are you coming next year, Qeird?
Probably, depending on how the situation is.
Obviously, the financial and everything.
Well, if I can catch a ride with you again, I will.
Oh
Absolutely.
yeah. We drove down.
Actually,
together.
I can promise, if I can catch a ride with you, I will definitely come next year.
Well, do you have a car? Maybe we should do like a thing where I fly down, hang out for a while, and then we drive together.
I don't have a car, but I might be able to borrow one.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that off the podcast. It's perhaps not so important for our listeners. Let's move on to the second topic, which is something that was mentioned briefly. Anderson. Let's talk about Evo. When's Marvel?
When is Marvel indeed? Marvel.
Is that still a meme? Is that still a thing? When's Marvel?
One of the players in top 8 Marvel at Evo was wearing a T-shirt that says "When's Marvel." So I think that kind of explains it.
All right, fair enough.
It kind of went from Marvel players being impatient at tournaments and legitimately being like, "When's Marvel? Fuck this shit. Why are we watching this? We want to watch some Marvel, man!" And then
Yeah.
it just kind of transmuted into its own meme.
Yeah. So what is
Listen, even
Evo
that
for
of
our
good
listeners who have no fucking clue?
Evo Evolution is definitely the biggest fighting game event in the US and probably regarded as one of the biggest in the world outside of Japan.
So it's the World Cup of fighting games.
Until last year it was. It really is the big event, and every major fighting game is represented there in the big tournaments, and there are also a fuckload of side tournaments that aren't streamed. I mean, I'm pretty sure they've
Alright.
had a Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo tournament there every year, but that doesn't get streamed. Last year, Capcom Cup got introduced, which is Capcom themselves doing like a league where you gather up seeding points over the course of the year. And this year, the main prize at Capcom Cup for winning at Street Fighter is going to be $500,000.
Jesus.
So, in the eyes of the
That's Street Fighter 4 still?
Street
or-
Fighter 4 still, because Street Fighter 5 won't be out until next year.
Can I just ask, is it the total prize pot or is it the first prize?
I believe it's the first prize.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, it's good to see some real money coming into fighting game prize pool.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, for the rest of the fighting game world, Evo is the World Cup. For Street Fighter, it's the Open. Anyone can just show up and sign up at Evo, and it's the halfway point
Right.
until Capcom Cup. Capcom Cup is gonna be like, I think
I gotta say, Capcom Cup is the funniest word. But sorry, go ahead.
It's going to be like 64 players or something. You can't sign up for Capcom Cup. You qualify by winning tournaments or
so
gathering
do you
seeding
get
points.
is Evo one of the events where you can get points?
Evo is one of the Capcom Pro Tour premier events, as they're called.
Jesus Christ, these fucking words, man.
And
Yeah.
the winner of Evo automatically qualified for Capcom Cup.
Alright, so it's a bit like it is in Dota, where you have to go to like DreamHack Valencia and stuff like that, as like those teams. Some of them are invited, but then there's the qualifying kind of stuff.
Do you qualify from DreamHack Valencia to DreamHack? Or
No, it's like you gather points to get into the big one. I think it's more for Counter-Strike Go, actually, now that I think about it, in Valencia.
The Street Fighter thing, there are basically two ways you can qualify. Everybody earns points by placing in tournaments. And then there are a few big tournaments picked out to be like the premier tournaments.
Right.
And at those, winning the tournament qualifies you.
Yeah,
And like
that makes sense.
and that trickles down. So like if you place second at a tournament and the guy who won is already qualified, then that qualification goes to you.
That's cool. And the Capcom Cup Championship Cabaret is a single event with 64 players, like just a big fucking bracket, or is it a thing that's played over several weeks or something?
I believe it's just a big tournament. Well, I mean, 64 players is actually a tiny tournament. Most majors clock into 200.
Yeah. But it's like Evo. It's like over a weekend or something like that, with matches being streamed.
Exactly.
Okay.
I missed it last year. I'm so hyped to watch it. And really, if to sum up Evo in a single word, it would have to be hype. It was so hype this year. I was clenching so hard for some of the matches.
What games did you watch? Like all of them, or are there any in particular?
Friday, I just watched 14 hours of Street Fighter pools and semifinals. In a single day, Friday, from 8 a.m. Las Vegas time until they stopped, they went from 2,200 entrants to have it narrowed all the way down to the top 8, which was then played on Sunday.
Okay, fair enough.
Saturday, I watched a few random games. I didn't really watch that much. I watched a bit of Mortal Kombat. And then Sunday, they had the various top 8, so I was kind of watching that half-heartedly.
All right.
So I saw...
So wait, did you watch the Street Fighter finals at all?
I did. Those were the last games on Sunday. And sadly, the very last game of the grand final was marred by technical issues.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one player was already up a round, and then he paused. And when you pause, your opponent can take the round.
Why isn't there a championship mode where you can't pause?
Well, people were saying that on Twitter afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I got it from. It's ridiculous, really, when you think about it.
The opponent took the round, and then when they were waiting for the timer to go out, he paused again. Because he had a loose connection in his stick. So they had to wait while they went off and found some kind of a replacement stick. And he ended up winning, and I'm not trying...
Wait, the guy who was pausing ended up winning?
Yeah, he was up a round, then he gave up a round on the technical issues, and it went to the final round of the final game, and he won that.
Right.
And I'm not trying to advertise anyone. I'm just going to say that the stick he was using at first was a Razor, and the stick he won on was a Mad Catz.
Well,
make of that what you will.
Yeah, fair enough. It's a shame that there were technical issues, though.
Yeah, it did kind of kill the hype, but
yeah.
Still, it was still hype. It was.
Yeah. Who won? What's the guy's name?
I fucking not even sure. It was one of the Japanese players, and there are just so many. What
was he playing?
I think it was Momochi.
What
it was
character
Momochi, I believe.
It was Momochi. He plays Ken.
Oh, okay.
But it was Momochi. He plays Ken, but he really didn't like the matchup against
Adon.
Yeah, Gamer
He played against
Adon.
Gamer B, which...
So he actually switched to Evil Ryu for that last match.
Fair enough. What were you trying to say, Qeird?
Yeah, I was just going to add that I did watch that final game. Because Gamer B is the one that made me want to play Adon. Which I let you see my glorious Adon skill during Dopecon, but
yeah,
it was a really hype game until that technical issue. It's too bad.
Evo is a little bit strange when it comes to these big events because it's got multiple games, which is kind of not a thing for other events of this kind. I mean, there are like these, like MLG, that kind of stuff, but generally they have like the league tournament, and then they have the Dota tournament, and then they have the COD tournament. It's not like mixed together during a day like Evo is.
Yeah. I guess Evo is kind of like fighting game dream.
Yeah, Evo
almost.
is. Yeah, it's like for the whole genre of fighting games, I guess.
And beyond, because they have Smash.
Yeah. Are there any other sort of fringe games that they play?
I mean, there are games that are based on fighting games. Dive Kick, when it came out, was popular.
Yeah,
I saw like a side tournament, like a joke thing they were doing, if you've heard of the game Nidhogg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they were doing that as well. So I mean, it's
all right. Yeah.
It's fighting games ish, fighting games plus.
Yeah, All right, fair enough. Anything else to add about Evo? I'm kind of sad I missed it, but I think in the end I would have preferred Dopecon either way, because I'm not like hugely into fighting games, but it's like the big thing. If you're gonna watch one thing during the year that's fighting games, you're gonna watch Evo.
Exactly.
All right. So next on our list of topics, we have Path of Exile 2.0.
Yeah. That sounded very enthusiastic. Qeird.
Very enthusiastic.
Do you not play Path of Exile?
It, Qeird?
I am not a huge fan of the Diablo style games.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been all over the chat recently.
Yeah, it's been popular again.
Yes.
You should try it. You don't need to be a big fan. You might like it.
I might like it for... I do like it, but I like it for 2 hours, and I grow bored because it's the same thing over and over again.
Fair enough.
Says a guy who watches anime.
It's just like how in Dirty Bomb you're just shooting things and it's the same thing over and over again.
Well,
right?
It is what you turn it into, and for me that turns into a farm. I don't get that when I play games I like.
Yeah, well, of course. Things are only grindy if they're boring, even if they are grindy. Yeah. But yeah, the big expansion has been released. We have no more desync, which is the fucking best thing ever. The game is like 400 times more playable now for me. And I've sank several hours into it. Plenty of hours
several
into it.
Days.
I have several days, pretty much. I got a character up to level 74, and then I realized that I couldn't really get anywhere with the build I was doing, so I re-rolled. And now I'm basically midway. I'm level 50 or something right now. On the way back up there.
In the same time span, I've gotten a character to level 44.
Huh? It's not so bad. Well, but yeah, we talked about it previously, so I guess it's just worth sort of revisiting now that it's been released, and it's living up to all the hype for me at least.
Oh,
all the new systems are really good.
Remember all my whining about how the bosses at the end of Act 4 are too hard?
Yeah.
They've just patched the game and nerfed all of those bosses, so I guess it wasn't just me.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Act 4 is still, like, there's a huge difficulty spike, and then it becomes super easy again once you enter the next difficulty afterwards.
Yeah, and it's funny because they had actually stated outright as one of their design goals that they no longer wanted the difficulty drop. When you hit Cruel, it wasn't supposed to get easier after the last act. It was supposed to keep getting harder. And they just missed that by a mile.
Yeah, definitely. But it's good to know that they're still balancing stuff. They nerfed some of the bosses, made them easier to kill, and sort of in the earlier difficulties, I think they even removed some of their abilities to sort of put them only in the most difficult difficulty.
I guess just with any game, no matter if you feel they're actually doing a good job or not, which I definitely feel they are, it's just very comforting to know that they still care.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like they're just shitting out the patch and then just letting it rot. They're continuously improving everything.
And this is from a free-to-play game.
Yeah, that's true. It's free-to-play. Have we even mentioned that? It is. It's completely free-to-play, and the only things you can buy are things that give you like cosmetics.
And I've heard that if you play it without buying the extra bag slots, you will suffer.
Well,
if you want to hoard stuff, yes.
There is a convenience factor to buying a few extra stash tabs, that's for sure. Especially if you play on standard, where the characters stay forever and never reset. You are eventually gonna run out of space, but it's nothing you need to do. And even when you do, it's cheap as hell. It's not like you need to buy like the best weapon or something like that, or you can like buy experience boost or anything like that. I think the stash tabs are the only thing that affect gameplay at all, and it's kind of somewhat sort of secondary to the gameplay. It's basically just you want a bigger bank, you want to store more stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely still recommend it. It's good fun. It's the current leagues are running for another 2 and point whatever months still. 2.5 or whatever the hell it is at this point. Plenty of time to get into it.
Ouch. I hope that didn't...
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, good.
Alright. The next topic on our list is I Ain't Even Mad Though. It is a video that I did recently, or 2 videos now actually, that I've done recently. And I just thought I'd basically bring them up and ask you guys what you thought about them, because it's not really what the Dopelives YouTube channel has been about before. This is kind of different, I guess. I'm basically just throwing my hat into this whole Gamergate social justice warrior feminism fucking mess, and just trying to make some fun videos out of it. Did you guys watch them? Or it, at least?
Yes.
The first one?
I watched the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really gotten around to the second one yet.
Alright. What did you think about it?
I think you bring up very good points. Jesus. I'm so bad at, like, I have typed
You're
down...
bad at thinking?
Yeah, thank you. I'm bad at bringing up formulate that.
Yeah, I guess.
Or remembering all of it in one go.
Alright.
It's
Do you
like-
want some time to think? We could just bounce
Yes,
the
Ow.
it would
question
be
over
good.
to Anderson.
Fuck.
Come on, guys! I did tell you that I was gonna ask you about this. And
No,
I told you to
I
watch
just
the
cut
video.
myself.
Oh, okay.
You know
Don't do that.
how when you're not doing anything and you just kind of do something
Just
with your hands,
playing with
just
something, yeah,
out
of
of
course.
idleness. Yeah, don't do that with a knife.
Do you have an actual sharp knife at your desk?
Well, yeah, I was building wargaming terrain and I had like
Oh,
a
Christ.
box cutter.
You just pricked yourself, right? You're not bleeding profusely.
I am barely bleeding.
Good.
Anyway, I did watch the first one. I really enjoyed it. I know you. I've played D&D with you.
Yeah.
And you can be an annoying, autistic, nitpicking twat bag.
Actually, that's not a polearm.
Exactly. And it seems like this style of video is perfectly in line. Because, let's be honest, what you're doing is you take some of the arguments presented by other people in the debate, and then you basically just respond to them. You nitpick them.
Yeah.
I really felt watching, when I got to the second half of the first video, I felt like this was just me getting a look into your brain as you were watching the video you were responding to, just like the thoughts that were popping up in your head.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
This is so-and-so. No, it's not. This is so-and-so.
Yeah.
No, they did this thing.
But you're wrong!
Yeah, exactly. I did feel like, you know, I had it linked to me knowing kind of what it was. I feel like if I was just some rube exploring the Dopelives channel, coming across this would be very jarring.
It's very different from just the
It is very
videos
different
of gameplay and laughing, I suppose.
in tone and
Yeah.
stuff. If I was looking for a video with the ladder goat guy and I found that,
Yeah,
I would be
definitely.
perplexed.
Yeah.
Would you say you would be triggered?
No, I have many triggers actually. I actually do get triggered. I know people use it as a joke, but there are
Yeah.
actually things that trigger me. The difference is when I'm triggered by something, I deal with it. What triggers me isn't everybody else's problem.
Yeah, of course.
Good words.
Alright, but yeah, I just wanted to briefly mention it, and if any of the listeners have any feedback that they haven't given on the videos themselves, I
didn't
love to
have a
hear
proper
it.
recommendation this week, so I recommend checking out I Ain't Even Mad Though. It's it's pretty fun. It's
still sort of in development stages, I guess, because I've never done something like that before, so it's sometimes really difficult to sort of formulate. Even though you know something is wrong, it's difficult to.
you throw a lot of
Explain
images
why?
in when you do it. You do
Yeah.
a lot of visual stuff, and it actually a little bit reminds me of, you've probably seen the zero punctuation reviews. It kind of reminds me of that in a good way.
Yeah, alright. Yeah, basically, if it's just me talking over a stale image, I thought it would get boring, so I sort of tried to keep people's attention by putting the images in, and I tried to make them related and or funny in some way.
I feel like you do a good job.
Thanks a lot. Did you watch the second one as well?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I'd love to hear what you think about it once you do.
I'm hungry,
All right.
which means
That's great to hear.
when we're done
Yep.
recording, I might grab some food and then I might watch it.
Yeah. All right. So, Qeird, you have
Yes.
a topic that you brought on. It might be somewhat
are
related
we
to
there
your
right now?
recommendation before.
Yes.
What do you want to
Fetishes.
discuss?
Fetishes.
Fetishes?
You mean like
Yes.
the small statues that primitive religions use to associate with spirits?
The penis kind.
Yeah, exactly.
phallic fetishes?
Sure.
Like shrunken
but-
heads and stuff?
Yes.
Right, so
No.
fetishes, it's a pretty broad topic. What
It's the
about fetishes do you want to discuss? Do you just want to tell us about yours? Because I'd love to hear them.
It's anal. So there you go.
That's not a fetish.
Okay, it's vor.
Anal vor?
Well, anal vor.
Yeah, sure. It works. It
Yeah,
works.
it works.
It's hard to find good
Works
porn
for
of
me,
it, but
but that's
fucking...
Huh?
It's hard to find good porn of it, but
Yeah.
sure.
Vor makes
That's
me
true.
feel inadequate.
Because you're not into
Because I don't get it.
it. Mm.
Well,
Well,
it's
I've
kind
tried
of like
to
feet.
explain it to you in the past, but
You have,
I
and
mean, if you don't get it, you don't get it. It's like I don't really get people who are turned on by like forced diapers or some shit like that. I can sort of, from a broader perspective, understand it. It's like a power thing, and you're being sort of infantilized, that kind of stuff. But still, it does nothing for me sexually.
Yes. Well, the thing I kind of wanted to bring up is, are you? Well, the main topic or question is,
Mm-hmm.
are you born with these kind of fetishes, or do you develop them, or do you do both? Basically, are you born with fetishes?
Yeah, I think that's a
It's
really
like-
interesting question. I would argue that you're probably not, just from basically like Freud, like all these kind of when you had a really domineering mother, you grew certain kinds of like sexual kinks and stuff, like cross-dressing and stuff like that in your adulthood, according to him. And I think there is definitely some
Out relevant to
validity.
it?
Yeah, there's some validity to that argument, but it's difficult to guess, because have I always been turned on by the things I'm turned on by? Some of them I would definitely say yes, at least as far back as I can remember, like being 11, 12, 13, I remember being turned on by certain things. I mean, not just, naked ladies or men, but actual, like, fetish, weird kind of stuff. But then did they develop before that, or is it something that was born in with me? That's very difficult to say.
I definitely have some stuff I know I've not had always, because I have stuff that I remember thinking was kind of squicky and kind of not disgusting, but definitely not for me. And then I tried it, and now I'm super into it.
Yeah, definitely the same. I've almost I guess it's like an acquired taste sometimes.
Oh yeah,
Like you can sort of learn to like coffee the same way you can learn to like, I don't know, like BDSM or something, I guess, in some way. But I don't know. I guess some fetishes you're born with or develop early in childhood, and you can't really control them, while others you can genuinely make an effort to appreciate and pick up a certain kink, which is a strange thing to say, but I've definitely experienced that.
yeah.
I do have something like, my proof is from my own childhood, where I was 7,
Mm-hmm.
where I had some really weird thoughts that I didn't know what they were, but it felt really good to think about it. And it was super weird when I think back to it. But I think that might have been one of the fetishes that like came with the whole package when you were born.
Or when you were 4, you experienced something that somehow wired your brain in such a way, etc., etc. But
maybe, but
when you're
I
so
can't
young,
remember
it's
anything like
no,
that.
of course not. You wouldn't remember it anyway. But like when you're so young, it's difficult to determine like if it is something that was innate or something that was triggered. Like
I think actually, generally you're not born with fetishes. You develop them sometimes early, but there are definitely some fetishes we're born with, because some fetishes are biologic.
such as
Breast fetish.
yeah, sure,
That's
yeah,
evolutionary biology.
Yeah, some of them are evolutionary for sure. But if you think about something like
Heels.
like high heels or lingerie, like those are societal things that don't exist in nature,
definitely.
and you can't be born with them. I mean, feet, maybe there's some sort of correlation between a woman's feet and sort of the care she takes with herself. Like you can how do you say, like if she has the resources to take care of her feet, like they're not all scraggly and wonky, that means she's some sort of high status woman, and it basically would be a good mother to your children. But high heels in particular, I mean, heels used to be a male thing, so it's definitely not
So
something
did
that you can
pink.
be born with. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know, it's strange. I think there are these sort of broad categories where youth and health and fitness are pretty much universally attractive, But then you have these people with really strange sexual turn-ons, like, I don't know, cars or something like that. People who like...
There's a word for that. Like, in love with inanimate objects.
Yeah. Yeah, like there's multiple of these strange paraphilias, and like people getting turned on by the thought of having needles stuck in their eyes and like really weird shit like that.
That's
so,
supposedly painless.
Yeah, you don't have any
It's just scary as fuck.
any nerves in your eyes.
Yeah, it's
do you?
horrifying.
So, yeah, definitely.
But you said like that's no fetish, but I want to bring it up anyway. Like, if you're talking about natural fetishes, anal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Why would that be? Well, I know why it would be, but
I
I'm
think
asking
that
you, what
in
would it
society it's more taboo because it isn't normal, so to say. Like normal intercourse is vaginal, therefore anal sex is something you have to. It's something you have to achieve, I suppose. You have to sort of discuss it with your partner, and it's something that is not everybody likes it, so therefore it becomes this sort of taboo thing.
There's another thing. Is that anal is purely sexual.
That's true, definitely.
Whereas vaginal, that's somehow linked
That's
to procreation.
reproduction,
yeah.
That's biological, yeah. Whereas anal isn't natural in
Anal
that way,
has
so...
no purpose other than being sex.
Yeah. Same with a blowjob, though, or
Oh,
a hand job,
definitely,
or masturbation,
definitely.
or whatever.
So are
but
we
yeah.
actually coming to the conclusion that vaginal sex is worst sex?
Yes, absolutely.
Vaginal sex, missionary position in order to reproduce. That's pretty much, I don't know, the top tier perversion. Like, you're gotta be a really sick fuck to only like that.
Well,
It's strange that like sexual kinks. I don't know if I'm not sure about this, but it feels to me like everybody has something. Everybody has some kink, even if it is just like anal sex or something. Everybody has something, but still there's this big shame about it in society, where you sort of have to keep it hidden and on the down low. It's gotten
I have a solution for
more
that.
open. Is it everybody takes a picture of their fetish and puts it online?
Well, not takes a picture of it, but yeah, if everybody is open about their fetishes, then
Yeah, of course.
if everyone's
make it a
outed, no
Facebook
one's
tag.
outed.
Make it a Facebook option, like,
Yeah!
So shall we
what are
start?
you into?
So shall we start?
With what?
Anderson?
Oh, with stating our fetishes? I don't know. How much time do we have left on the podcast?
I feel the same way. It's yeah. It's a very a deep rabbit hole.
It's
Depending
kinda-
on how much
It's
how
kinda
much
why I-
detail you want to go into as well.
It's kind of why I wanted to bring it up in the first place. Like,
Yeah.
it is a quote-unquote taboo thing to talk about,
Yeah.
but it's so damn interesting. Like,
Yeah, agreed.
Why are you sexually attracted to this, or why does this turn you on?
Yeah.
It's a very
I think the human sexuality is a really interesting sort of subject within psychology. Probably one of the most interesting, because there's so much that seems to be basically malfunctions of other things that we've evolved. That once we reached this higher order and stopped being monkeys, there are things that we were supposed to find really attractive as monkeys just to survive as a species that still sort of lingers in our minds, even though we have this modern society and things, and there's this sort of crossing of wires where suddenly people get all sorts of weird turn-ons that aren't supposed to happen.
yes, agreed.
Speaking of weird sexual turn-ons, I guess, our next topic is very related to this one.
Yeah, Qeird,
Yes,
are you a pedophile?
no,
All right, moving on.
Is that-
no. But this was actually like something I thought about bringing up in my topic.
Mhm.
But like, it's very hard to say, but somehow I do support pedophiles.
You do
like-
support them.
Like, a pedophile,
Uh-huh.
I don't think would hurt a child or try to
Well,
force
that's
themselves upon a child.
demonstrably wrong, isn't it?
I think what he
Not in
means
every
is...
Or are you
case.
making a distinction between a pedophile and a child molester?
Yes,
Is that it?
being a pedophile does not make you a rapist. a child molester.
Basically, the topic we're going to discuss next is pedophilia and also how it relates to homosexuality. But yeah, I mean, well, I think we all here support gay marriage. Qeird, like gay rights, people are allowed to have gay sex. There's nothing wrong or strange about it.
Absolutely, nothing wrong.
Yeah, and on the same coin, how do we treat pedophiles? Because aren't they kind of the same thing? I know that's a bit of a straw man sometimes when you're like talking about allowing gay marriage, like the Christians go like, oh, then you'll allow people to marry animals and pedophiles will marry children. But if we can look beyond that and just look at the sort of biological, the psychological aspects of it.
And I know you like to dredge up history. Pedophiles have been marrying children for millennia, right up until very recently.
Yeah?
Yes.
Except those aren't pedophiles.
It depends on where we want to draw the distinction between a pedophile and a hebephile or whatever.
Exactly, because, and I was actually wanted to get this in, pedophile and pedophilia is one of the most misused words in the world, because it's only pedophilia if the child is prepubescent. That means if you look at a 12-year-old girl who's starting to grow breasts and you go, that's kind of hot, you're gross and you're a pervert, but you're not a pedophile.
Are you, though? Are you a gross pervert?
I'd say yeah.
Well, I think it's been
the same way that people who look at men, like a man who looks at a man and goes like, oh man, I'd like to suck his dick, is a gross pervert, right?
Same scale, way different place on the slider.
Alright. Yeah, I definitely agree.
Because I feel it's more okay to sexualize a man who can basically be sexually responsible for himself, rather than a child that we deem to not be fit to make their own sexual decisions.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going back to evolutionary biology, there is a very good explanation for being attracted to young children, not prepubescent, but 14-year-olds, etc. Because that's when
they're ready to breed.
We're able to start mating with them. Exactly.
That's actually the natural point to be most attracted to them.
Yeah, I mean, well, arguably, the most fertile, most likely to survive childbirth kind of thing.
Exactly.
But then in modern society, we've made up this concept of children. Like, you're a child and then you become an adult. That's not really a thing. That wasn't really a thing for a very long time. As soon as you had your first period as a girl, you became a woman. You weren't a child until you were 18 or something, because there's no 16-year-old girl that hasn't started going through puberty. It's really kind of strange how all that works and how it fits together. I mean, I assume that we're all in agreement that anyone who is a practicing pedophile or even a hebephile is basically immoral. Like, he's a bad dude or woman.
Absolutely.
You're preying on children, even if it is somehow in your mind or whatever, somehow a consensual thing. It doesn't work because children aren't capable of giving consent.
I think being that what you just said, a hebephile, I don't know what that is really.
It's basically when you're attracted to
youth.
To youth,
oh,
yeah,
youth.
To girls who have entered puberty. So like from 12 to 16 or something like that. So they're still underage, but they're not like prepubescent.
I believe like a child rapist would also have a slight sadist about him, like liking to inflict pain in others.
I'm not sure about that personally. I mean, you can probably think of it that way because there isn't any way for a pedophile to practice his sexuality without also being sadistic about it. Like, he necessarily inflicts pain and misery as soon as he touches a child, but I'm not sure if that's his intent.
I honestly think
that might be true, but I would like to bring up then as well. What do you think in hentai should lolicon be banned?
Absolutely not.
Because I believe like there are like good people that are pedophiles, but they can't do anything about it. The best
Yeah.
solution for them would be to watch.
I think
hentai lolicon.
I think lolicon should be banned because there
Oh.
are certain things we shouldn't encourage, and there are certain people we wouldn't want to attract. We wouldn't want to show them this is okay. You can be open about this. And I really feel like lolicon probably attracts too many weeaboos.
I was really curious where you were going with that. Is that your genuine opinion, though, Anderson, or were you just making?
I'm just
a joke
taking
there
a shot
because-
at Lewis,
Yeah, fair
as
enough. Fair enough.
contractually obliged to do once per episode.
Good. So do you think that lolicon should be banned? Genuinely?
I don't think anything should be banned, basically.
Yeah, fair enough. I think it's just a caveat that people are going to complain about if I don't say it. I don't think that if you like lolicon, you're necessarily a pedophile at all, because those are fictional beings. Like, you can be attracted to that shape and form without having a sexual thought about an actual human child at all, ever.
Same way that people who play Monster Girl quests don't necessarily fuck snakes or or desserts.
Yeah. Agreed. But I also think that Qeird's argument was pretty much correct, that I think that it should be legal. I think there's even an argument that child pornography should be legal simply because it gives pedophiles an outlet. There is a strong correlation between porn consumption and the decrease of rape in society. Like, you can look at the states in the US, and there's a strong correlation between them. Not saying there's a causation, but, well, there might be.
Well, I have to kind of disagree there, because in hentai,
Nobody
it's
is
fiction.
hurt. Yeah.
Nobody is hurt.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
as-
I'm not agreeing with the argument that child pornography should be legal, but I'm
Yes.
saying that there is an argument that could be made.
Yes.
There's also
I saw something. This was fictional. This was a TV show. You know, a cop show, a crime happens, they investigate, yada yada.
Yeah.
And child pornography came up.
Uh-huh.
And they actually found out that the child pornography they had found was not actual child pornography.
It was just digitally made or
The
something?
model used was a very young-looking 18-year-old. And then you know that there are these aging programs that they use to artificially age runaway children and so on. And in the show, I don't even know if this can happen in real life, but they could in the show. They had used that program just basically in reverse to make it look younger.
It's probably not that simple, but
Let's say you could do
There's-
that. Let's say you could do that. Where do
Yeah.
you stand on that?
there's absolutely nothing morally wrong with it at all, because it isn't, and there's no child being hurt, and I think that something akin to that should be sort of prescribed almost as a treatment for
I honestly
pedophiles.
feel like the idea of being a pedophile is one of the most horrifying I can think of. Imagine
definitely.
being a normal, sane person who finds child abuse as reprehensible and as horrible as a normal person would, and at the same time, the only sexual attraction you can feel is towards prepubescent children. That must be a nightmare.
Yeah, you know in your heart that you can never have an outlet for your sexuality.
I mean, I'm a
because
highly
that would be-
I'm a highly sexual person. I mean, a person with a low sex drive, that would be an inconvenience. But me, honestly, I feel, and this might catch me some flack, I honestly feel that if I were a pedophile, and if I were exclusively a pedophile, then I would either turn into a child molester or I would kill myself. Because I don't think I
yeah.
could live without any kind of
And-
outlet for my sexuality.
And there isn't any way to get treatment. It's basically shamed and shunned. If you out yourself as a pedophile, a non-practicing pedophile, it doesn't matter. You're still gonna get basically fired, kicked out of society.
You're
and
automatically
just...
evil.
Yeah, of course.
But isn't
That's-
that kind of wired into us? That's us going tribal protective of our young, monkey mode.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, it's basically like kicking a dog, I guess, like that kind of level of you're just hurting someone innocent just by your mere existence when you're a pedophile. But I think it is really a strange sort of double standard, because if homosexuality is something genetic, something that you're born with and can't help, then surely pedophilia is the same thing. I don't think that anyone would choose to be a pedophile if they could avoid it, because it's not a good thing in society.
Definitely.
Like if if you could flick a switch inside your mind and stop being attracted to children, you would. You're not necessarily evil or a bad guy, as long as you're non-practicing.
No.
That's just your
The
attraction.
the real fuck-ups happen when you have a person who is sadistic, is evil, is completely fucked up, is the shitty, horrible person who would go out and rape someone, and who is then at the same time pedophile.
Yeah.
Although, honestly, I believe that maybe not a majority, but at least a significant minority of child abusers, child molesters, are not necessarily pedophiles.
Yeah.
They would do
I
it
agree.
just because, maybe they just like picking on the weak. Maybe it's just
It's
an
a
easy
power
victim.
thing, yeah.
Maybe it's the power thing.
Yeah, it's the same way you say that a large majority of rapists aren't doing it for the sex, but it's like the domination, the power fantasy kind of thing.
Freud said everything is about sex except sex. Sex is about power.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there was something strange I listened to. I don't know where it was, but they were talking about rapists, or they were interviewing rapists in the prison,
Yeah.
and they were saying like, yeah, rape is horrible, rape is something you shouldn't do, but I didn't rape anybody.
Yeah. I've heard of that as well somewhere.
So it's like, I thought it's like they have some kind of sexual dyslexia?
Dyslexia.
Dyslexia,
Yeah. Yeah, like they don't understand the whole idea of consent and everything.
Yes.
Was that about Sweden and immigrants specifically? Because it might have been Angry Foreigner.
Yeah,
did
it might
something
have
about
been.
that.
To be
there's like
fair,
these-
with what's happening with social justice warriors and so on, I will just come out and admit I currently don't understand what consent is supposed to be.
Well, we could have a whole segment on affirmative consent. But basically in Sweden there's this thing that has happened several times where mostly Somalians, I think, because they have like strange literal rape culture there, have had sex with Swedish girls or girls in general, like underage, like 14-year-olds or something. Often violently, but then they get super light sentences because their excuse is basically that they didn't know. They didn't understand that anything they were doing was wrong because that's the society they're from, and somehow that works.
That is so racist of the fucking
of
Swedes.
the
Like,
justice.
they're from another country.
They're niggers. They
They're
don't know
black.
any better.
Yeah, exactly. They
Exactly.
don't know any better. Like,
Yeah,
That's horrible, actually.
special protection under the law. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure about the details of that, but I know that there have happened things like that which are stupid as fuck.
yeah, it was a part of Angry Foreigner when talked about that 12-year-old
Yeah, that's
getting
probably
raped.
right. But we were talking earlier about basically like pretend child pornography, which definitely should exist. Do you guys know Max Hardcore?
Yes.
Like the porn star?
No,
Of course I do.
I'm not.
Of course you do.
I'm not into real porn.
Oh, fair enough. He is or was, I guess he was, basically a person who did really sort of brutal porn, like throat fucking, girls puking on his dick, and then he'd piss on them, that kind of stuff.
And he almost always used the same story.
Yeah.
Young girl wants to be a model. He says, I can make you a model. Come back to my place.
Yeah, exactly.
So
But several of his
stereotypical.
films had the girls basically dressing very young
And speaking
and also
like they were
speaking
very
very young. Yeah, I'm not sure if they ever said they were underage, but
course
basically
they
they were, they were pretending to be underage, like,
Yeah.
oh, uncle, why are you
Yeah.
touching me there? That kind of stuff.
Mister.
Yeah. I like that you can like quote it verbatim, Anderson.
What can I
but
say?
yeah, he got charged for basically creating child pornography and various other obscenity things, and spent a lot of time in prison,
To be-
which I think is absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, but I mean,
That is bullshit.
This is America. He was his literal charge was obscenity.
yeah,
That's America. You can go to jail for obscenity, for being
that's-
obscene.
it's fucked.
I mean,
but you're harming the moral sensibilities of society.
Isn't that
or something by
horrifying?
creating this. Yeah, it really is. It really is. Yeah.
it good to
Censorship
say
is
like
just-
criminalization of something makes the crime?
I that makes sense, but I'm not sure if that's a saying.
Maybe not in this case, but
But yeah, I mean, there was nothing in my mind, illegal going on.
No.
As long as the women in those films were above the age of 18, which they all were.
Yes.
And they consented to the
Treatment.
The treatment, exactly, and they got
Okay.
paid,
Although,
etc. Like, the contracts were followed.
let's be fair here. He also did have a reputation for basically preying on the young girls trying to break into the business who don't yet have kind of the self-esteem and self-respect to say when's when.
Yeah.
He would kind of pick on those.
That's fair enough, which makes him a scumbag.
Yes, exactly.
but
That's
not
not
a
criminal.
And definitely not a pedophile. Like,
That's not criminal, but he's
Yeah.
not necessarily just a great guy.
no, of course not. I definitely don't think so. There's the current one, facialabuse.com. That's basically
Contusion.
the worst. Contusion?
Yeah, he's the director. The guy,
that-
the guy
is that
with
the
the
guy?
gay lisp who insults them.
Oh
while it
yeah,
goes on.
yeah, that might be
Guy
it.
with the camera.
Basically, all the stories of the porn stars coming out of that is that guy is just a dick. Like, that is one of the worst working environments that exist in porn.
Yeah.
Which I think is very bad for the industry because
And how do we get better working environments for sex workers? We decriminalize it, we normalize it, we regulate it, we turn it into any other kind of working environment.
Exactly.
This is not rocket science.
I remember watching this documentary on a bordello somewhere in Nevada, I think.
yeah,
And
probably the Bunny Ranch.
maybe.
I think that's the famous
I don't
one.
remember, but
Yeah.
the security is super tight. There's like
Yeah.
big fucking walls around.
Yep.
They have clean environments,
Regular health
condoms.
checks.
Yeah, even health checks. Like,
and
every
you have
month,
to use
I think.
condoms, etc. And the girls are always safe because there's always somebody nearby in case some guy doesn't understand like their borders and that kind of stuff, their limits. And then you compare that to some streetwalker on the strip that
Yes.
just gets picked up and driven to who the fuck knows where, some motel or something.
And if something happens to her, she can't even turn to anyone unless she wants to do time or at least heavy fines.
yeah, then she has to get a pimp
Which
instead,
automatically-
who steals 80% of her profit.
Which automatically marks her as a victim. Because
Yeah.
you know, if you're some kind of fuck who wants to do something to a person, well, there's a person who basically isn't under protection of the law.
Yeah. Well, I think that Sweden's prostitution laws are kind of strangely hypocritical. They also make sense. It's basically illegal to buy sex, but not to sell sex, which means that sex workers have the protection of law. If they're raped or attacked or whatever, they can go to the police and they can admit that they were prostituting themselves without facing any charges. The fact that you can't do that in America is just...
If you
what
fuck a
the
prostitute and you
without paying.
and you don't agree with money up front, you have to pay after the fact, and you then don't pay. Is that rape or theft?
It's
Both.
neither.
pretty much.
It's a contract breach.
That too.
I know that's a funny joke, but if we're actually gonna dissect it, it's not theft because you're not taking anything, right? You can't steal a service, can you?
I don't
don't
know what
think so.
the
If
I
you
don't know
get
what the
somebody
legal
to-
terminology is for receiving a service and not paying for it.
Yeah, no, it's probably something about contracts or something. But yeah, I get the
But
point.
would she be able to claim rape?
Probably not, no, because the sex was consensual, right?
But it was consensual under a certain set of conditions that were not met.
True.
But she's not
But
protected
then again,
under
if
law
a
anyway.
guy pretends to be a rich man in a bar or something, and then somebody has sex, and then the girl figures out that he's actually some bum who lives on the street, has that guy raped her just because the sort of the parameters of the sex was a lie or like weren't fulfilled or whatever?
Well, I'm not really arguing against you here so much as I'm arguing for the fact that it's a wonky, wobbly area.
Yeah. Either way, there's definitely been a crime, but not according to America, because
Danish prostitution laws are age of consent is 15. Prostitution,
Wait. Oh, okay.
yeah,
go
our
on.
normal age of consent. Prostitution is completely legal, but the prostitute must be 18 years of age.
Yeah, makes sense.
Prostitution with anyone under the age of 18 is a crime, even though sex with someone under the age of 18 is a crime.
Is there a Romeo and Juliet thing going on in Denmark, or can like a 50-year-old have sex with a 15-year-old?
I'm pretty sure we just have an age of consent of 15.
All right, that's cool. I
are
assume
there-
that there would be a lot of international pressure to change that law if you were allowed to have underage prostitutes, because there would be like sex tourism and that kind of stuff.
Which, might be good for the economy.
Well,
yeah, look at
I
Thailand.
was
Thailand.
going to wonder, like,
Yeah.
a question. Are there
Uh-huh.
any bordellos in Denmark? Or is just prostitution legal?
Here's the thing. Prostitution is legal, but pimping is not. You cannot make money off someone else having sex. So
Which means that brothels are
having a brothel
thing.
where you own the brothel and girls work for you, or prostitutes work for you having sex with customers, that is illegal. There is a workaround where we have massage parlors where someone owns the house and provides the safe environment that the house is. The prostitutes then basically rent themselves in. They pay the owner of the house a set amount, and then they take their own earnings from what they get during the day, because then they're basically just renting a room. They're not being pimped. And that way around, it is legal.
I see.
But
That makes sense.
over in Copenhagen, there is a street that's kind of famous for its streetwalkers. But I think that's really the only place in Denmark we have streetwalkers. We have these massage parlors.
Right.
And they're basically bordellos. They're just skirting
Yeah,
the
yeah.
rules. And then we have escorts. That's basically how it works here in Denmark.
All right, that's fair enough. Which is probably something akin to how it should be. Maybe the sort of the ban on pimping is making the industry sort of needlessly complicated with regulation, but generally you want to have a safe environment. Like,
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. Are we? Do we have anything else to say about the this whole discussion about pedophilia or prostitution or whatever the hell we were talking about?
Well, pedophiles need some more help from society. That's pretty much.
Yeah. Pedophiles
I
need more
definitely
love.
Agree.
Pedophile needs more love.
There isn't even like I checked actually at some point online because I was curious if there was a pedophile support network kind of thing in Sweden, like Alcoholics Anonymous or something like that.
Yeah.
And there isn't.
Doesn't that just make
there's
you
nothing like
sad and a little bit disgusted?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. They're basically all have to deal with their shit on their own, and there's nobody they can turn to for help or guidance.
Well,
Exactly.
this is
And
going to sound ridiculous, but pedophiles are people too.
I mean, yes. Again, with the caveat that we're talking about non-practicing pedophiles. I did find sort of an online support group of, I guess, non-practicing pedophiles that was kind of interesting to read through. They're basically just saying what we're saying, that these guys are basically doing these great sacrifices in order not to hurt children. They're basically, banishing their sexuality, and because that's the moral thing to do. There's no way they would ever hurt someone, but it is still a burden to them. It's difficult. Imagine not being able to have sex or even to masturbate because like all the porn you're attracted to is super illegal. For a normal like human male, it would be, it would be a strain on you.
Absolutely.
I actually, since this is kind of skirting the topic, but since we have a little time, I'm just going to put my view out there.
Oh,
There shouldn't
that's
be an age
curious.
of consent at all. Because we agree that the reason there's an age of consent is because we want
Yes.
people to have a certain
Are
level
you
of
gonna
maturity.
suggest that there should be a
basically
sexuality
be able to
exam or
make-
something like that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Basically, you get a sexual driver's license. If you go to the doctor once to see if you're physically fit,
Mm-hmm.
which every person above the age of 12 should be, but just to make sure. And then you talk to a shrink a couple of times to see if you are fit, because I'm pretty sure that there are 13-year-olds
Yeah,
out there
definitely.
who are ready mentally and emotionally. And I know for a fact that there are 20, 21, 25-year-olds there who are in no
Yeah.
way ready
I think
to
it
engage
is
in sexual behavior.
kind of a thing that would work in a utopia.
Yeah, my utopia.
I mean, it's in sort of in theory, in a vacuum, it's a very good idea. It would never work in practice, though, obviously, just for a multitude of reasons. But it is a thing that is, yeah, exactly. It is a thing that is interesting.
The logistics alone.
I think that the age of consent should be the same as the age where you can make contracts. So basically, either 18 or 16, depending on the country. But there should be sort of a age sort of thing where if you're in school and you how do I put this? Like plus minus 5 years or whatever. Does that make any sense?
There should be brackets.
I suppose,
there should be
but
brackets.
I mean, in certain places in America that don't have these so-called Romeo and Juliet laws, 2 17-year-olds have a perfectly good relationship, and they have sex regularly because that's what 17-year-olds do. And then suddenly,
And the
on
guy
the guy's
goes to
18th
jail.
birthday, they have sex, and the girl's family reports him, and he goes to jail for being a child molester. Because he had, what is that term for rape? Basically, there's a charge where even if you don't... Oh yeah, statutory rape, that's the one.
Constitutional rape or something.
He raped her because she's
statutory,
not
that's the one.
18 yet, and he is, so that's illegal. That kind of stuff is just so fucking stupid.
There's also a county in USA where literally it is forbidden to have sex with a woman if you're not married to her, and this is the kicker, if you are married to her, then the first time you have sex with her, by law, her
Well,
mother
these are
must
these
be
old
present in the
crazy
room.
decrepit laws that aren't enforced at all. But yeah, how the fuck did they come up with that back then? That makes no sense.
Same way I believe that whaling is illegal, which is fair enough, but I
Yeah.
believe I've seen that it's illegal in
That makes
Arizona.
sense. And there's like these very strange laws as well, like you aren't allowed to wear red pants on a Thursday or something like that. Like these very creepy ones, or like not
Yeah.
creepy but kooky ones.
We actually still have in Denmark, if the strait
Frozen?
between Denmark and Sweden, Øresund, if that freezes over
It's
and a
legal to shoot
Swede
them?
walks across,
Oh.
I believe we are actually no, we're required by law to
That's
put you in
funny
state.
because that's
It's something like that.
because of the history. When
Yeah.
That's because of the
No,
history,
no,
because
no,
you
this is how
fuckers
it
went
went
and
out. I
invaded
know
us one
this.
cold winter.
we were
Alright.
fucking with the Prussians, and
Yeah.
and the King's army was down there, and then your fucking army was like, "Hey, Sweden is defenseless. Let's go fuck them up."
Yeah.
And like we get to know that, and we start to march, and it's like, we will never make it to Copenhagen. We need to march over Kattegat,
Yeah, the strait.
and we marched over the thin ice to reach Copenhagen, and we fucking seized Copenhagen, and then you gave us Skåne.
Yeah.
Yes,
started
you
it.
invaded us.
Anyway.
you.
Anyway, let's wrap this
Bullshit.
up, boys. Svenske.
Svensk jävlar.
Danske.
Man.
Dansken.
Fucking Danish people. Exactly.
Brotherly love.
Just
at
look at
its
this kind of
finest.
stupid tribalism. We are having like fun with it. There's no way we would actually be angry at each other over this, or at least I really hope not. But
But there are people that are, and when was
Yeah,
the last
yeah,
Danish-Swedish
exactly.
conflict?
300
200
years
years ago?
yeah, there are people who still have these resentments. But then you look at something like the Middle East, and you look at Arabs versus Jews or something like that.
Yeah, and they had
Yeah,
they had their
exactly.
last
How the
conflict
fuck are
like
they supposed to
15
get
minutes
over
ago.
it, Anyway, that's a discussion for another day. I think we are going to wrap this up.
Oh,
We should
Time
speak
to
of
wrap it
brotherly
up.
love.
We
We need
should,
to
that's
talk
an
about
interesting
incest
topic.
soon.
there we
What,
go.
are you wrapping something up, you fucking
Yes.
twonk? Jesus
Jokes.
Christ. Alright, thanks for listening, everybody. You can send us feedback at dopelives@gmail.com. You can find me on Twitter, dopefish_lives.
I'm on Twitter as Sir Anderson1. I have a blog I'd like you to visit.
And Qeird, do you have a Twitter?
SirAnderson.tumblr.com.
I have a Twitter. You can find me under @JohnB_Toaster or Merrill.
What?
John B. Toaster.
Okay. That's
Don't
complicated.
question it.
Anyway, there will be links to all of these below in the description. Thanks a lot for listening, and bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.